Hi, I'm Emily. Just closed my third house sale this month and I'm still riding that commission high. 5 years of grinding in real estate has finally paid off. My own agency, my dream house, and not a single dime from my family. That last part matters more than you'd think. My phone buzzed while I was updating listings at my desk. Unknown number. Usually I'd let it go to voicemail, but something made me answer. Emily? It's Mom. My stomach dropped. Diane Carter's voice was unmistakable, even after 5 years of silence. How did you get my number? The words came out sharper than I intended. Your cousin Jessica gave it to me. Listen, your father and I have been thinking. It's been too long. Too long since they told me I was selfish for not handing over my college fund to my train wreck of a sister. Too long since Robert Dad said I wasn't a true Carter if I didn't support family. We'd love to have you for dinner this Friday. Your sister won't be there. Just us. That was new. Amber was always the centerpiece of family gatherings, the golden child who could do no wrong, even when maxing out credit cards or borrowing money she never returned. I'll think about it, I said, needing time to process this bomb drop. Please do. We miss you, sweetie. Sweetie? The same woman who called me heartless for wanting to use my own savings for college instead of giving it to Amber for her business opportunity that everyone knew was just covering gambling debts. I called Nathan immediately after hanging up. He's been my rock since we met in real estate school, now my business partner and the brother I wish I'd had. They called you out of nowhere? After 5 years? Something's up? I paced around my office. That's what I'm thinking. Why now? Remember when they ambushed you at graduation, trying to guilt you in public? How could I forget? Amber crying about how I was abandoning the family by not giving her my tuition money? And now suddenly they want dinner? Just the three of you? Nathan leaned back in his chair. They need something. Money. It's always money with them. 100%. Listen, if you go, and I'm not saying you should, you need protection. Record everything. I raised an eyebrow. Isn't that a little paranoid? Is it paranoid when they've manipulated you your entire life? Remember when Robert told the entire family you refused to help Amber when she was in trouble, but conveniently left out that her trouble was losing 20 grand at a casino? He was right. 5 years of therapy had helped me see the patterns. Fine, I'll go, but I'm recording everything, and I'll keep it brief. Good. And text me during. Code word if things get weird is listing appointment and I'll call with an emergency. I nodded, already dreading Friday. The smart move would be ignoring them completely, but part of me, the part still hoping for parents who actually cared, needed closure. Thanks, Nathan. I'd be lost without you. That's what family is for. Actual family, not the DNA lottery kind. I pulled out my phone and texted Diane. Friday works. Text me the address. 7 p.m. The response came immediately. Wonderful. Can't wait to see you, sweetheart. My skin crawled. They wanted something. And whatever it was, I'd be ready. Friday arrived faster than I wanted. I parked outside the modest Italian restaurant they'd chosen, checking my phone's recording app one last time before heading inside. Diane and Robert were already seated, waving like we'd just seen each other last weekend. Mom's hair was grayer. Dad had lost weight, but their smiles were the same performative ones I remembered. There's our girl! Diane stood for an awkward hug I didn't return. You look wonderful. Business must be booming. It's going well. I sat down, keeping my purse on my lap with the phone recording. We ordered wine. Still like red, don't you? Robert poured without waiting for my answer. So tell us everything. The house, the business. We've seen your billboards. Diane leaned forward, all eager attention. For 30 minutes, they acted like nothing had happened. No mention of our falling out, the college fund, or 5 years of silence. They nodded and smiled at my brief answers about work, occasionally exchanging glances I couldn't read. Enough small talk, Robert finally said after our entrees arrived. We need to discuss something important. Your sister's in trouble, Emily. Diane's voice dropped to a whisper. When isn't she? The words slipped out before I could stop them. Robert's face hardened. This is serious. Amber's in debt, deep debt. How much? They exchanged another look. About 300,000. I nearly choked on my pasta. $300,000? How? Some gambling, yes, but mostly bad investments and credit cards. Diane dabbed her eyes with a napkin. She was trying to start a business. The loan sharks are threatening her. She's scared for her life. Robert reached for my hand, which I pulled away. That's terrible. But what does this have to do with me? Another exchange of glances. Diane smiled weakly. We've been looking at options. Your house. It's worth what, 600,000 now? If you sold it... Excuse me? I put down my fork. You could buy something smaller. The market's great for sellers right now. You'd know that better than anyone. Robert tried to sound casual. You want me to sell my house to pay off Amber's gambling debts? It's not just gambling, Diane hissed. And we're not asking for charity. We'd consider it a loan. Like the loan you gave her from my college fund? The one she never paid back? That was different. You were young. You didn't understand family obligation. Robert's tone sharpened. I understand plenty, including that I worked my ass off for that house while Amber was throwing money away at casinos. We've done everything we can. Diane's voice cracked. We remortgaged our retirement home already. That was new information. You what? Last year, for her first round of debts. We've got nothing left to give. So naturally you come to me, the daughter you haven't spoken to in 5 years. You've always been the responsible one, Emily. Robert tried flattery now. The successful one. And that makes me your ATM? This family has supported you your entire life, Diane snapped, mask slipping. One sacrifice. My house is not a sacrifice. It's my home, and this family cut me off completely when I wouldn't hand over my future to Amber. You're being selfish again. Robert shook his head. Cousin Jessica was right about you. What does Jessica have to do with this? She told us how you bragged about letting Amber suffer, how you enjoy seeing her struggle. My blood ran cold. That's a lie. I've barely spoken to Jessica in years. We've heard things from the whole family, how you've turned your back on all of us. Diane's eyes narrowed. After everything we did for you. I stood up. This dinner is over. If you walk away now, you're no daughter of mine. Robert growled. For good this time. Guess I'm an orphan then. I grabbed my purse and walked out. Outside, I called Nathan, hands shaking. They want me to sell my house for Amber. 300,000 in debt, and they've been telling the family I'm some kind of monster who enjoys watching her suffer. Jesus, come to my place. We need to figure out what's really going on. 2 hours later, Nathan and I were deep into online records. Found something. Your parents remortgaged their house 14 months ago for nearly 200,000. And now Amber needs 300 more? What the hell is she into? Something bigger than gambling. These aren't casino debts, Emily. This is something else entirely. Like what? Drugs? Loan sharks? I'm pulling up her social media now. Nathan scrolled through his laptop. Look at these vacation photos from last month. Bahamas, 5-star resort. While she's supposedly drowning in debt, that doesn't add up. None of this does. Your sister's playing everyone, your parents included. We need professional help with this, Nathan said, closing his laptop. I know someone, Vivian Chen. She's an attorney who specializes in financial fraud and elder abuse cases. Elder abuse? You think Amber's scamming old people too? With that spending pattern and those debts, I'd bet my license on it. The next morning, we met Vivian at her downtown office. She was sharp-eyed and no-nonsense, skimming through the documents we'd gathered while taking precise notes. Your sister has a pattern, Vivian said, laying out bank statements we'd pulled from public records. Casino visits every Tuesday and Friday. Large withdrawals before, deposits after, when she wins. But the withdrawals have grown. Classic gambling addiction escalation. My parents have been enabling this for years? According to these mortgage documents, yes. But there's more. Vivian tapped her computer screen. I ran a background check. Your sister's been named in 3 civil suits in the past 2 years, all settled quietly. Let me guess. All elderly plaintiffs? Nathan asked. Bingo. 2 were distant relatives of yours. A great-aunt Margaret and your father's cousin Walter. Both over 75. My stomach turned. What was she doing? Loan fraud, essentially. Promising big returns on investments that never materialized. My phone buzzed. Diane again, 5th time today. I silenced it. They won't stop calling, I explained. 37 messages since yesterday. Document everything, Vivian advised. If they escalate, we'll need evidence. They did escalate. Monday morning, Diane showed up at my office, making a scene in the reception area. You won't answer our calls. Your sister needs you. How can you be so heartless? I pulled her into my private office. Mom, you need to leave. Now. Not until you agree to help. Amber is family. So am I, but that didn't stop you from cutting me off for 5 years? Because you were selfish then, and you're selfish now. She knocked a photo off my desk deliberately. Your success means nothing if you won't help your blood. Security escorted her out. But that was just the beginning. Tuesday, Robert cornered me in the parking garage. You think you're so much better than us, he hissed, blocking my car door. Miss Big Shot Realtor with her fancy house? Dad, step back. You're scaring me. Good. Maybe fear will knock some sense into you. If you don't help your sister, I'll make you sorry. I'll tell every client you have what kind of person you really are. After he left, I called Vivian immediately. This is getting serious, she said after hearing the recording I'd made. I found 6 more victims of your sister's schemes. 2 have agreed to speak with us. I want to end this. All of it. We need to gather everyone affected. Set a trap. The plan came together over the next 2 days. Nathan helped me contact extended family members, carefully selecting those who'd been manipulated by Amber or fed lies by my parents. The bait needs to be irresistible, Vivian advised as we prepared. Something they can't refuse. I know exactly what to offer, I said, drafting a carefully worded email. A family meeting to discuss my contribution to Amber's situation. They'll think you're caving, Nathan nodded approvingly. Exactly. But instead of my checkbook, they'll face everyone they've manipulated. I sent the email, suggesting my house as the meeting place, neutral territory where I could control the environment. The response came within minutes. We knew you'd come around, Robert wrote. Family always does the right thing. Little did they know what the right thing would actually be. Vivian helped me prepare folders of evidence for each attendee. Bank records, transcripts of threats, proof of Amber's lavish spending while begging for loans. Are you ready for this? Nathan asked as we finalized preparations. I've been ready for 5 years. It's time they face the truth. Saturday afternoon, my living room filled with family members I hadn't seen in years. Diane and Robert arrived first, smiling triumphantly as they surveyed my home. Beautiful place, Robert said, eyeing the vaulted ceilings. Shame you'll have to downsize. We'll see, I replied, directing them to the seating area where Nathan and Vivian waited. Who are they? Diane frowned. Support. You brought yours, I brought mine. Great-aunt Margaret arrived next, followed by cousin Walter, then 5 more relatives. Last came Amber, strutting in with designer sunglasses and a handbag that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage. Wow, baby sis finally stepping up. Took you long enough. Amber plopped onto my sofa without even a hello. Once everyone settled, I stood. Thanks for coming. You all think you're here because I've agreed to sell my house to pay off Amber's debts? That's not happening. Robert jumped up. You lying little... Sit down, Dad. Everyone needs to hear the truth. I nodded to Nathan, who started the audio recording. If you don't help your sister, I'll make you sorry. Robert's voice filled the room, followed by Diane's tearful manipulation at my office. That's taken out of context, Diane protested. Like how you took my refusal to give Amber my college fund out of context when you told the family I abandoned her. I distributed the folders Vivian had prepared. These contain bank records showing Amber's gambling habit and luxury purchases while begging for emergency loans. Aunt Margaret gasped, flipping through her folder. This shows the $40,000 I loaned you for your medical emergency last year went straight to a casino, Amber. And my $25,000 for your business startup went to a Bahamas vacation, Walter added, voice shaking. Amber laughed nervously. This is ridiculous. Mom, Dad, tell them. Vivian stood, professional and calm. I'm Vivian Chen, attorney specializing in financial fraud. These documents show a pattern of elder financial exploitation spanning 3 years. Several victims are in this room. You brought a lawyer? Robert sputtered. After you threatened me? Absolutely, Vivian continued. We have documentation of $487,000 solicited from family members under false pretenses. That's before we address the gambling addiction your parents have enabled. This is a family matter, Diane insisted. Elder financial abuse is a criminal matter, Vivian corrected. I've already spoken with the district attorney's office. The color drained from Amber's face. You can't prove anything. The bank transfers speak for themselves, Nathan said, projecting account statements onto my living room wall. From relatives' accounts directly to casinos and luxury retailers. Aunt Margaret was openly crying now. That money was from selling my husband's business after he died. How could you, Amber? Everyone does it, Amber shrugged. Old people have all the money and just sit on it. The room fell silent at her callousness. I'm pressing charges, Walter announced. That was my retirement. 4 others agreed, while Diane and Robert pleaded desperately. We can fix this. Emily can sell her house. That's your solution to everything, isn't it? I interrupted. Someone else paying for Amber's mistakes. We're your parents. You owe us. I owe you nothing, and after today, I don't have parents anymore. 3 weeks later, Amber was charged with multiple counts of fraud. My parents, while not legally culpable, became social pariahs in our extended family after everyone learned how they'd enabled and covered for her. Nathan hosted a dinner at his place to mark the end of the ordeal. Vivian came, along with 2 colleagues who'd become friends during the legal battle. To chosen family, Nathan toasted, raising his glass. The only kind that matters, I replied, finally free of the weight I'd carried for years. My phone buzzed with a text from Diane. We're still your parents. You'll regret this someday. I blocked the number without replying. Some ties aren't meant to be repaired. They're meant to be cut permanently. Does blood relation automatically deserve loyalty, or are toxic family members owed nothing regardless of their relation to you? Would you have sold your house to help your sister, or would you have stood your ground like Emily did? The line between family obligation and self-preservation can be controversial. Where do you draw yours? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story and want to hear more like it, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring more of these real-life justice stories to light. What would you have done in Emily's situation?